I'm back. I don't know what's going on the street. But my Instagram back up. Live. Just so what we discussed was is mental illness and so that we all go about the celebrities or everything. And I think that a lot of times I have celebrity friends and the ones that they with that being said, excuse me, you can't cough that was really in on day was Christoph St. recently was found in Market, and she they were drugs, drugs that they have to, but better. It is known that her father, now, if you don't know, for most of you, Christoph St. John was on The Young and the Restless. He played Neil. Remember, he was Drusilla's husband. And then when she left, because I stopped watching Y&R, Young and the Restless, after a while because, you get busy, you get involved in life, and you just don't have the wherewithal to put everything in your schedule. But anyway, so Christoph St. John was Neil, who played on The Young and the Restless. His daughter, who is now in the news, and normally y'all know I bring up all this on the screen for the YouTubers, and then I also figured out how to do it on Instagram, but I can't right now because I don't know what was going on with all the electronic stuff. Whew. But gee, I had to woosah because look, it's an hour and we done lost an hour, but we trying to figure it out. Never have I ever. But anyway, so what ended up happening was she somehow goes into the grocery store. She takes off her clothes. She's sitting there meditating. They're trying to figure out what's up with her. And then they take her to the police station where they open the door for one of the police officers to enter into wherever she was. Not really sure why or how, whatever. But as they do that, she tries to escape. Oh Lord, poor girl. So now they not only have they're saying that she resisted arrest, escaping, and indecent exposure, and all these different things or whatever, but they also have under medical eval, and it's so terribly sad because okay, let's go through the history of their family now. And again, celebrities, they're under scrutiny, unfortunately, because they're in the limelight, right? I saw it anyway. So, but then there's something kind of glorifying and getting a pimple in your late 80s. Hey, um, so anywho, they basically her brother in 2014, he committed suicide, and I'm gonna put some stuff in the links, below later, so you guys can look at this. But I really want you guys to think about the things that can take effect on our celebrities, especially when y'all trolling in their DMs. I go in these DMs sometimes and I'm like, who the hell does she is to so and so like that? You know, if you don't like the person, stay page. Like really, what? Like what? Stay off their page. You don't even have to go on their page. And it's crazy to me, but I always say this too. It's crazy to me uh, that people go on other people's page, like celebrities' pages, and they want to start an argument with somebody they don't even know, and it's just dumb, stupid, dumb, idiotic. But with that being said, a lot of these people, they're more upset about their own life that they can't really have no life in another level on another level they um because they are so disappointed, sad, and unhappy themselves. So when we think about that, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel some kind of way? Do you get in a place where you want to that page with that person? Would you argue, or would you just be a silent listener and observer, or would you step up uh, and say something to those people? See, I'm kind of in between. It depends on the mood. Some days I don't feel like it. Some days I do feel like it. You're right. But it's interesting because to me, we have to be verbal in our stance in this lifetime. And there's a time to be quiet. Now, I do believe, okay, because I am these people who is really into uh uh revamping myself, being a better woman. I believe that in order for me to be prepared for the relationships that I want going forward and the lifestyle that I want going forward, that I have to incorporate this lifestyle. And I don't know what's going on with this, but I want to make sure y'all can hear me. I have to incorporate the person to actually the person I gotta incorporate the person I'm working on so that I can be the better woman for my future, if that makes sense. And I say because theoretically what you do is not my business, and what I do is not your business. Doing something that's stupid, it ain't my business. What you think about me ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? I live and breathe to do things that I'm happy with, happy for, about, and all I want is happiness. I'm trying to. I want to go. What is going on with YouTube? Jesus, take the wheel and be a fence. I need you right now. Can you please send that? Thank you. See what I'm talking about? He fixed it. Okay, he fixed it. This. Okay. Anyway. So, see, and y'all can hear me. Oh, Jesus, thank you. See what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but that old nasty devil. He's nasty. He's nasty. He's nasty. And I had like 4 or 5 little people on my stream earlier, and Satan ain't no fun. He ain't no fun at all. But anyway, getting into it now. Her name is Christophe St. John, his daughter, and she's beautiful, and her name is Paris St. John, like Paris, the city of the country. Um, she's beautiful. I mean, he has 2 daughters and he had a son, and so again, she was booked on 3 misdemeanor charges. Like I said, indecent exposure, escape, and resisting arrest or obstructing officers. And she's also now currently getting mental health treatment. And it's so sad because let's do okay. Now, I'm not going to lie. I take citalopram. It's an anti-anxiety medication. And in the process of me taking this over the years, I've had anxiety. And anxiety can present itself in a number of ways. Anger, pain, tears, whatever. So with all that being said, I take this every day to make sure that I can feel my best. Okay. And so with that, it can be a lot. that a person deals with, or it may not be as bad as these as other people. Now, their father, Christoph St. John, they believed him to have schizophrenia, and so by him having schizophrenia, um, it created a lot of issues with him. But if you may or may not know, basically he died from alcohol poisoning because he basically, there was other things. He had heart disease, but these other things that were going on with him, he um, it was magnified by the fact that he had heart disease, and then he drank and had got alcohol poisoning because of that. So a lot of these things that we see that people are going through, and the things that not only are they going through, I mean, I hesitate to bring up other celebrities because I really like them, I really love them, but I don't want to leave Tamar Braxton out, because I was so thankful to see her maybe a couple years ago to now, and how much better she is. And I hope that it's all legit, because we see things on Instagram and we see things on our social media feeds and things like that, right? So we don't really know if the person's life is really the way that it appears. We can only go by what we see, and by what we see, we want to wish them the best and make sure that everybody alive them happy, and in this moment, because there's nothing that we can do but pray for everybody. And so that's one of the things that I always think about, um when I look at my social media, and I'm like, I pray that that everything is the way that it looks, you know what I'm saying? And I pray that everybody is happy, and that everybody is thriving in life. And she seems to be doing wonderful. And I'm so thankful that she is at this moment. I love to see her with little, I call him little Vincent, because whew, he can never lie that he didn't spit that baby out. So it is what it is. Like I was saying to you all, in terms of what we do go through. But for the most part, we want to be cognizant of that. We want to be aware of that. And if you are one of them people that can be aware of some of the things that other people are going through, people that say you care about, or whatever, whether they're family, friends, whatever, then maybe you need to dive into yourself. Because a lot of times, and I say this many, many times over, I'm a happy person just by thank the grace of God. Thankfully, all my life I've smiled, been happy, been just happy go lucky. And people will say, "Why are you smiling? What do you have to smile about?" And in my mind, I'm wondering, well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you smile? Why aren't you happy? Whatever and whatnot. And when it comes down to stuff like that, and people are not happy, or they're not thriving or successful, or whatever the issue is, I want to say that's not my problem, but sometimes I want to take it on as an issue, because I feel for them. I feel bad that they're going through whatever they're going through. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that for me, I'm doing what I need to do, and that I'm being happy and successful on my own, because I can only worry about myself. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes on in this world. And when it goes on in this world, you got to decide, okay, are you going to be responsible for somebody else, or are you about to be responsible for yourself? Because it's a trying time that we're in right now. And there's so many people that have beliefs about certain things, others that don't believe in anything. And when that is the case, then you have to take it to another level, and you have to be willing to understand where you're positioned at. A friend of mine, he was saying to me, he was like, and I agree with him. It's not that I'm disagreeing with him. It's funny because he was me, and he was telling me certain, but I already had my own analogy on how I was going to do that, and it it was nice to know that by him saying that, it was seeking validation, but he gave gave me validation for what I was already thinking. And so that's what's the a miracle. Like I tell y'all all the time about evolving and be having certain kind of energy level, being better people, and it's real talk. It's real talk. The thing about it is that what you find is when you start evolving and you get on levels that supersede this bullshit. I mean, and I'm saying it like it is. The bullshit that's in the world, it's so it's so intoxicating because what happens is, like this morning, for instance, it's just this is so crazy. So I was reading a Bible scripture, and it was the First Corinthians scripture where it talks about love and love like superseding all things. So I copied and pasted it, and then I sent it out to people who mean something to me. And then while I was sending that out, my friend, who's also my neighbor, sends me this little gift or GIF, or this talks about love. If I've been told, you're loved. Basically, just these wonderful things about love. So then I posted that. And when I posted that, I then am scrolling through the stories and I go to somebody else who I don't talk to on a normal basis. But I did shout out to them and say, you know what? I feel so good that everything that I posted today and everything that I read today and all the feelings that I had and everybody that came to me, we're all talking about love. What is that? It is beauty at its finest because we're on and I'm on an energy high. I'm on a happiness high. I know, despite it took me an hour and some change. I went in the kitchen. I unplugged my internet. I plugged back up. I said a prayer. I said a few cuss words. I said a prayer. I said a few cuss words. I said a prayer. And anyway, getting back on an even keel with my podcast. So I'm not sure what happened. I'm disappointed because, like I said, I had several people on with us today, and unfortunately, I'm sure that they waited for me and it didn't come back on, so we couldn't get back on. But with that being said, couple other people that I wanted to bring up in this whole trending topic of celebrities and what we go through is, there were some things later on, like with Twitch. Okay. There were people who believed that, somebody in his life that that loved him really was pressure and created more pressure. And because he couldn't live up to the expectations that they had, basically he decided to take his own life. Now in the news we learned that he left some information or left a note and stuff like that, but nobody really told us what it was, so on and so forth. And they've been finding that one of my girls, oh my god, when she died I was just crushed when she killed herself. Amy Winehouse. But Amy. Oh, you say you're gonna go to rehab, and I said no. But anyway, I was just so heartbroken. She was in her 20s. Come on. But basically, her brother came out. He was like, you know what? I don't care what they say. She didn't do no drug over, or do they calls her as well. But he said she was bulimic, and that when you would see her, you would just know. And he was just like so hurt because she was just so thin and frail looking. So basically, when that happened, he was talking about how with the alcoholism, because the later on they came out and said that they found things beside her body that kind of like came from the grave, or how they say these are the things that give them the answer. So they said there were two empty bottles of vodka next to her, and she was face down on her bed like she just collapsed or whatever. And her brother is saying that he knows that it was due to her bulimia, whereas the news is basically saying no, it was alcohol poisoning, but it could be a combination of both. Bulimic, you self induce vomit to make sure that you don't ingest food that you ate because you're worried about gaining weight. Well, if you did that and your tummy, what I'm saying, is empty, and you took on this drink all this vodka, well, that makes sense. Both of those stories. So it's amazing. She increased her drug abuse and her eating disorder, and she canceled her tours and different things in 2011. I mean, it was just so sad. But for the most part, I mean, one thing that I'm saying that we all should be aware of, of course, we have Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, uh, and we know about their drug use. But one thing that we need to be thoughtful of and mindful of is that our the celebrities that we really love and we really represent or want to, in any case, we got to be mindful of the fact that they're human. They go through things, so you got to be mindful when you get on their page. Don't be tripping about stuff that is really not that important. You know what I'm saying? Lift people up. If you can't lift people up, then you probably need to be lifted. And with that being said, you know, I'm a segue into our each one teach one, but I am going to put links on these. I'm going to end this and start the next broadcast so that way the podcast stays at a smaller number in terms of time, and then you all can come back later and see these links. Okay, and I'm going to start in a few seconds. I see 8 followers are active now, but I don't know if y'all are listening. I hope you are. So if you are listening, you will come back on the next segment in our each one teach one. Thank you. Mwah. Okay, so that's not. What is it?